Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Good afternoon, amazing, incredible world of ours. That's right, world of ours. It's a global vision here at the Liddy Show on Millennium TV. Good afternoon. I'm in an amazing mood. That's right, once again, because you know I come with enthusiasm, love, compassion, empathy, and all the good stuff. Even when we're discussing difficult topics like we will be today, at the end of the day, the approach always has to come from a positive place. And the positive place is love, acceptance, understanding, compassion. So I'm going to start with reading a little something from one of our books, from Got Checked. And it says, acceptance is not lame. It's the name of the game. And it rhymes. You know, Liddy loves to rhymes. Do you think humble people are weak or strong? Humble people are on solid ground because of their discipline in maintaining their spiritual habits and their integrity. They view themselves as equal, holding no judgment, knowing very well that what we see is only a glimpse of a person's life. We don't know their past or their future, so we have to accept them in the present moment with an open mind and an open heart. Right there. It's that simple. Life is made of a sequence of pictures and chapters, and we often only see one little slice of someone's life. We don't know their struggle in their past. We don't know what their future is going to bring. And so we have to really accept everybody with an open heart. And that was my opening for what's coming today. What's coming today? Today we're going to discuss something that is very dear to me. Why? Because growing up, I grew up with a mother that was very much into always helping the helpless, the people that nobody wanted to help, the people that maybe made mistakes, the people that maybe lost the way, because she felt that everybody needs help. Period. You know, you don't choose who you help, and you definitely don't need to help those that are already, set up and doing well. You have to help those that really have no way to come up. That's who you have to, aim for. And why is that important? It's important because at the end of the day, they're part of our society. So today, discussing mass incarceration, which is a big problem in America, it is important to remember that all the incarcerated people are somebody's family, somebody's mother, father, children, aunt, uncle, friend, sister. So we have to consider that the way we rehabilitate rather than punishing the adults is what makes a difference in their extended family. Why so? Because if you continue punishing unjustly, whether there is a crime committed or not, the right thing to do is not eye for eye. It's rehabilitate those that lost the way. So by throwing people in cages and the living condition not being fair, by exploiting labor, by many conditions that we know are not ideal, what do you create? You create a whole generation of adults that continue being part of the system, that continue suffering the cycle of mass incarceration. And who suffers most? their children, their families, their home, left to fend for themselves. That's really what is important to consider. At the end of the day, that's why mass incarceration is a continuum, that it's growing and it's like a hamster wheel, because what do we expect? It's never going to end. It's causing generational trauma that goes on and on and on. So now you have the next generation of children suffering from trauma, from having parents that were incarcerated. They suffer from solitary confinement. Now, let's not forget the intercorrelation between addiction, mental illness, mass incarceration, all this vicious poverty, lack of opportunities, right? It's well documented. First and foremost, there is a high mental illness rate amongst incarcerated individuals. And that's a whole, today it's not about me. Today it's going to be about, a charity that it's really focused on helping those re-entering the world. But to make you understand that this is really a serious and big problem. At the end of the day, it's a growing problem that nobody wants to assume responsibility, and we can't keep putting band-aids on this. We have to look at the preventative side of it. So today we're going to have Amanda Acevedo, okay? Amanda Acevedo. And Amanda Acevedo is part of New Hour, which is a fantastic, an amazing group of women, okay, that have personal experience. It's crucial when you're doing something out there, just like for us, for Dawn and I, we have breast cancer, so of course that's what we focus on. It's crucial to have a personal experience in a field where you want to, deliver your message. You're able to, to connect with the people you want to connect with. So New Hour is an amazing association, charity. It's more than a charity, it's a movement. And, they partake in more than just helping the women, also, pushing for legislation, being part of legislation, being part of justice, and all that entails, and making sure that these women and their families, are safe and have an opportunity. Because, a lot of people go on to live successful lives. We cannot discard adults just because they fell off the wagon. It doesn't work like that. People escape, Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I usually save this for last, but I'm not going to go on. I'm going to read it now. It's going to make all the sense. This is my last message to you. I'm going to say it to you now. Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. One more time. Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. People have escaped situations in life that were inhumane and insane, and have come out of it winners on top, changing the world. And that's what we really, that's the reason behind giving everybody an opportunity to come back on top and to, rehabilitate. We cannot just punish people and throw them in the garbage. It doesn't work like that. So today, again, I'm so excited. We're going to have, from the second segment, I have all my questions ready. Got a whole bunch of things to discuss. I'm really grateful to Serena Liguori, which is the director of New Hour in Long Island, not in Long Island, on Long Island. But ladies from Italy, all right? So you got to forgive me sometimes, I mess up. They're based in Brentwood. And, everybody knows them on Long Island. They are very much, involved in all the facilities on Long Island and beyond. And, it's what they do. It's not just, it's like the before and the after. The women need help while incarcerated, but also it's almost like, listen, when I had cancer, while you're dealing with the hardship, it's almost like you have a job, but there's also a part of when you're done with that, now what? And that's the tragedy of coming out of incarceration. Now what? You come out, you hardly have an ID, you have no money, you have no means, no job, a record. now, a criminal record. It's tragic. It's tragic. Matter of fact, that's the hardest part. It's the reentry part. You know, in my little meager experience, again, I'm no one, and you know, I'm talking just from a place of. I always talk from a place of. You know, my mother. It's my mother's heart, my mother's voice, of never wanting to discard anyone. No one on this earth, for me, is garbage. I see potential in everybody. There is potential. I see gold where other people see dirt. That's how I am, you know, that's my mindset. My mindset is always coming from an enthusiastic and positive place, period. Because I know the potential. I know what people can do in impossible situations. Matter of fact, that's worth even more. Coming out of situations that really just, I'm just saying, you know? So that's where I come from, where, you know, first of all, I love challenges, you know? I love big challenges. And it just makes me happy, you know, to be part of what some people think are impossible tasks. And I don't see it that way. If everybody would think that way, we wouldn't have had the progress that we had in many ways coming through all these decades, right? Nothing would happen because nobody had faith in anything. I have faith. I know things will change. I know there's a new era coming. I have faith. And there are people out there like New Hour that are fighting for that. There are women out there that care. There are people that spend endless nights, days. They're, you know, enmeshed. It's a lifestyle. It's not a job. It's not a 9 to 5. It's a lifestyle. So, you know, I'm really, really excited to spend time with Amanda today. I have a few questions for her. I love anybody that has big dreams. You know, like I said, that have had hardships in their lives and they're making a difference. That's beautiful. You know, you have to take your pain and turn it into purpose each and every time. There's no other way. What else are you going to do with this pain? You're carrying it around, it's not going to do any good. You know, a lot of times we use pain to hurt other people. That's another thing that unfortunately it is something that it is a bad behavior that it is continuously created in a situation like incarceration. When you are continuously in a fight or flight mode your entire day and nowhere to run away, you're boxed. People couldn't even go through a pandemic. Now imagine being in a box. Imagine being Kalief Browder, 16 years old. That's my son next year, in a box. And you're his mom, and he's 16, and supposedly he stole a backpack, but he's sitting for 200 days in a box. 16 years old, with paranoid schizophrenia, and having to manage and cope with those feelings at 16. I'm 51, I'm still a mess. The pain I went through life at 16. And his mother, no less, adopting all these different children and taking care of them. Rest in peace, Kalief Browder, 16 years old. Didn't take a plea just to prove his point. He stood his ground, this gentleman, okay? He made a difference. Watch the documentary, please. Watch the documentary. You know, if you're not familiar with certain subjects, please open your mind to different. There's a world out there that you might not be familiar with, or maybe you are. But if you're not, never come from a place of judgment because you just don't know. You're not there. You've never been in there. If you haven't, you don't know. You can't know. It's impossible. You can only have an opinion. You know, you cannot have certainties. So please take your time to go out there. There are many documentaries. There are many people active in this big fight that there is in mass incarceration, solitary confinement, you know, all this, just a system that is just not working. It's creating more criminals, worse criminals, because of course, what do you expect? What do you expect to get? You know, and of course it's harder to manage. And so solitary confinement becomes the only, it's like the classroom teacher that just puts the bad kid in the corner with it's unmanageable from all sides. So it is necessary to address this now, period. Matter of fact, it's necessary in this country to address all these issues before anything else, period, which is I call it the triad, which is the 2 million addicts we have in this country, the countless mass incarcerated, and also the millions and millions of mentally ill. And all three are correlated. They all run, together. It's a mess, and that's where we need to start. We don't start from where it's all good already, okay? We start with that. And just like we are talking about teaching in school about history and the fair history of America, let's talk about teaching, mental health tips, how to, coping skills and so forth. So that's it from Liddy. I would have a lot more to tell you, but I'm gonna let the expert speak, because at the end of the day, I'm no one. I'm just Liddy. Liddy, look, I don't want any names. I'm not an influencer. I don't want to be called an activist. I'm no one. I'm just a crazy, fake red-headed, because I have to pay for this, fake red-headed Italian woman that suffered a lot, seen a lot, observed a lot, and I just care because I recall the moment of being in a dark place and feeling alone and being in pain. So we're going on a break. That's it. We're going to do it with love again, because I'm not going to just give you the problem. We're going to give you the solutions. That's what we're about, with love, with enthusiasm, because we want you to have faith in a better future. So stay with us. We're going on a break, and we'll be back with the Liddy Show. Amanda Acevedo, new hour. Let's go. I guess we're still here. Liddy sees it on the screen. Listen, nothing is perfect. You know what? Until they tell me to shut up, I'm gonna read something else. I got a couple more things for you. I got the questions here, but I'm gonna read something else. Let's see. See, I'm still on air. I see it. Paint peace on your soul. There we go. See, I'm going on break.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime.
No, mine wasn't
Millennium
on.
TV.
No.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA.
Just tell me next
Watch us
break,
via
just
Roku
do
on
like
your
what
smart
you
TV.
did.
Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hey, here we are. We are back with the Liddy Show. Hello, everybody. We're back. So before we are going to introduce our coming guest, I'm just going to give a little shout out to somebody, a young boy, whose mother told me that he watches me. See, I got young fans, and he watches me. And so I want to say hola y muchas gracias al mío amigo James, a su mamá Julie de Long Island. Muchas gracias por escuchar a Liddy. Yo te amo mucho, te quiero, y muchos besos por todos. That's it. That took a lot. Now we can all relax. Amanda Acevedo, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, Liddy.
Hi, Amanda. How you doing, baby? Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're so cute. Listen, I can't see
Thank you.
that far, but all I see is just an adorable smile. I see your smile and I see your energy.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure. So, Amanda, usually what I do is, you know, Liddy's not unscripted, but what I do is I follow a little bit of this, like, I don't know, past, present, and future, because it kind of I really love to try to accomplish is to just kind of give people a little more of you and who you are, you know, and really connect with you know, the depth of what you're doing and accomplishing in your life. So I'm going to start with the first question for you, the past. And again, you know, I'm hoping to bring out, you answer in whatever way you wish. So I'm curious to know, what experience in your childhood impacted you the most?
Sure. So the experience in my childhood that has impacted me the most would be my father's incarceration, which has ultimately led me to my career here at New Hour. But my father was incarcerated from the time I was 3 up until I was 11 years old. As you might imagine, those are super significant years. I was fortunate enough that despite him not living with me, that I was able to maintain a relationship with him, both by phone and by letter and by person, because I had family members that were very supportive and were able to allow that relationship to flourish by taking my sister and I to visit him on a regular basis. And like I said, that's led me to the work here as the licensed social worker at New Hour for Women and Children.
Well, I have another question, because it's like a little, you see it now, it's like we got the domino effect, and I sort of knew what answer you would give me, you know. I kind of but I wanted to come from a place, you know, of I don't know, it kind of just surprise.
Sure.
How does your past define your today's life? Well, you kind of already parlay into this next answer, so take it on.
Sure, sure. So the way that my past comes into my current life is that here at New Hour for Women and Children, not only do we work with justice impacted women, we work with their families and their children as well. And you kind of touched on this previously, that the incarceration of a single person has an impact on the family as a whole. So knowing my lived experience of what it means to have an incarcerated parent is something that I use in my social worker toolkit when working with mothers, incarcerated mothers who have children, and just being mindful of their relationships and how I can help them cultivate more meaningful relationships with their children during incarceration and after.
You know, I'm gonna sneak in a little just because you said something so important. I'm gonna sneak in. You know, we got a few segments. Tell me the truth. Isn't it vital in any industry, but especially in an industry so, because it is at the end, unfortunately, I don't know what to call it, whether it's an industry, machine, system, whatever you want to call it, but to be in this such a, you know, big problem for this country, isn't it almost like beyond necessary that anybody that deals closely with this issue needs to have personal experience, need to understand. You agree? It's I couldn't speak on an issue that I'm not personally, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that we do try to prioritize in our staff and in our interns as well. I just wrapped up a few intern interviews, and that's definitely one of our questions. You know, what draws you to this work? Because it's such a specific field and such a particular population that we're working with, and we want to know what personal ties you have to the population that we support. And you know, we really pride ourselves in offering a staff that is directly impacted. You know, from myself, who's the child of a formerly incarcerated parent, to staff members who have been formerly incarcerated themselves, and so on.
Yeah, and you know, I think that what you're doing is spectacular. I'll tell you why. Sort of what Donna did for me with, you know, the charity we run together. She gave me purpose. You know, she extended a hand as a breast cancer survivor to me as a breast cancer survivor, and gave me life purpose to, you know, go and speak about something I personally experienced. And that's what you are doing with a lot of you know, your students and, you know, the women that you're saving. You're giving them a life. You know, people need purpose. Purpose takes you far. You know, really, it's rehabilitating, I think, right?
Absolutely. Purpose and I think passion go hand in hand. And what really drives our passion at New Hour is that personal lived experience, and being able for the women to see themselves in us is so important. And it's such a big part of how we build rapport with the women when we're meeting with them, you know, in the jail and even outside in our office.
I love what you just said. Super powerful. To see themselves in us. Because I get teary-eyed, you don't understand, I'm telling you. There's people that are in such dark places and they feel like they'll never see the light of day ever again. And to be able to grab that person off that dark place and give them a little light to hold on to, a little something to hold on to, that's saving a life. Just like a doctor saves a life, every life is worth saving, period. You know, you are all, so many of you, whether you're, you know, whatever your experience is, you're an example how this is, you know, so important. So, you know, that powerful words, man. Powerful. Yeah. See, I love, this is what I love to do. This is what I love to do. All right, so we're going to the present now. Liddy's always in the future, so I'm holding it. You know, I'm always next year already. So in the present, right? Well, as you said, tell me a little more, you know, about your position in New Hour and exactly what it entails. You know, I know you have a million degrees. You got all this stuff that I don't remember because, you know, Liddy forgets everything. But you're highly qualified, and, you know, you've studied, you've done your work. Tell us a little more, like, what you do in New Hour exactly.
Sure. Thanks, Liddy. I don't have a million degrees. I have a bachelor's in criminal justice and a master's degree in social work. And my role here is reentry specialist. So ultimately what that means is that I go into the jails on a weekly basis, myself and our other social worker, Kelsey Purnett, and we meet with the women one-on-one on a voluntary basis. No one is forced to meet with us, only women who want to. And we use that time to discuss what their reentry plans are for themselves and really come up with a comprehensive, individualized plan that's unique to them. And just to give you all an idea of what that may look like, here on Long Island, some of the major barriers that we find are barriers to safe housing, safe and affordable housing, transportation. So for a lot of our women who don't have licenses, getting around the island is super difficult. Education, employment, and really just whatever her individual needs are. Other common issues are, communication with attorneys, and I might serve as the middle person to help them communicate with their attorney. CPS, majority of our women are mothers and have family court and CPS involvement, so helping them navigate that area as well is a role. And then the other thing that we like to emphasize is that your membership only starts in the jail. Your membership with New Hour is lifelong. That's just the beginning. Once you return home, we provide wraparound services. We provide case management. We set them up with the proper referrals. You touched on the importance of having mental health and addiction addressed and the role that those things play in mass incarceration. So those are the types of referrals that we would make. And then in addition to that, we have several, annual family events. Right now we're preparing for our back to school barbecue, where we have the women come out with their children. We eat, we give them book bags filled with school supplies and all of the things that they would need to start.
Stop right there. Did you say bags of school supplies? If anybody's listening here, yes. I'm serious. It's happening in August, right? Lydia's already putting some work on my end too. Book bags. If you have any book bags, anybody out there watching, come on, we're out of the pandemic. Let's go and make a difference. Let's go and be part of this barbecue. Donate some backpacks. Some book bags. Go ahead. I had to just.
Thank you. And for anyone who's interested, our website is newhourli.org, and you can find more information there. But yeah, there's several things that we do. Events. We help out with donations, clothing, toiletries, bus passes, really you name it, and we'll do it. And if it's something we haven't done before, then we'll figure out how to do it.
You even had Liddy come and do a workshop, right? We did we did a little breast health workshop. You do it all. All right, so what's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
The marriage, isn't
it the
graduation?
Our marriage graduation. I had to double check the day. I'm like, tomorrow. Sorry, I have a 9-month-old at home, by the way.
You don't have to explain to Liddy. I have ADHD, which is like having a 9-month-old for life. I hear you.
Tomorrow is our Emerge graduation, and just a little bit about what Emerge is. Emerge is our leadership and advocacy training program. And within that program, we have on average anywhere from 5 to 10 women, often formerly incarcerated, justice impacted women. And our wonderful program director, Danielle Donovan, provides them with the tools needed so that they can then go on and become advocates themselves. Because who better to be an advocate than those who have, again, that lived experience that's so important to advocate for things like halt solitary, which was just passed. You touched on solitary confinement, Kalief Browder. This specific piece of legislation now makes it illegal to overuse solitary confinement, and that was such a huge win.
To me, that's absolutely unacceptable, and it's just. It's appalling, and just first of all, no one, young, old, but to even hear that now 16, that's a child. I have a 15-year-old at home. No, it's a no. Don't get me started. It's an absolutely not. You're literally asking for you're creating. You're literally damaging an individual further. I'm still trying to figure out whether Kalief Browder was, had a paranoid schizophrenia prior to being incarcerated, or if, it was exacerbated, whatever the conditions were. But again, whether you have mental illness, if you even don't have any mental illness, I can guarantee you that incarceration as it is, unfortunately, these days, it's going to bring out the worst out of you. So let's go to the future. Since we're here, I got more questions. Trust me, I'm never out of questions because I'm curious and observant, and I love the subject. I tell you why. Again, people keep always asking me. You know, I know. It's like, what does this woman? What does she have to do with this? Well, first of all, as I said, I shared with you. You know, my father was also incarcerated. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot about him because I didn't grow up with him, but he spent, you know, short amount of time in jail for political crimes in former Yugoslavia, so in another country. I didn't grow up with him. He was also a schizophrenic paranoid, and so I kind of, it's in me, it's in my makeup, I don't know. I feel like I've, you know, it's in me. But we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a short break. I was told to take a short break because, you know, lady, she doesn't want to take a break. She gets too excited. And Amanda, we're gonna come right back and we're gonna do the future. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you in a minute with the Liddy Show.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
To push themselves over the comfort zone, right? Oh, I'm on. There we go. So back to the Liddy Show. We're back after a break. And as I was sharing with my amazing Amanda, you know, it's important to get out of our comfort zones and really explore this world. Explore this world in depth. You know, I think I said it last week. There's a saying that says, right, an unexplored life is not worth living. And so we have to, you know it's been a pandemic. We got to take a little break from the eating and the drinking and the and the dwelling. And we have to, we have to be grateful that we made it through. Some people didn't make it through. Some people were jailed with the pandemic, with already bad conditions before the pandemic. Can you imagine with the pandemic? Those are the last people that are unfortunately put as a priority. So we have to be grateful, if we're here, and we have to take over and go for the rebuilding of this wonderful place that is our America, all our America. We're all Americans. We're all here. We have to take care of all our Americans, whether they're in jail, whether they're on the street, wherever they're at. We have the responsibility. They're American citizens. They are our responsibility. Period. End of story. Doesn't matter color, age, job. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I teach this to my children. It's their responsibility. Matter of fact, better yet, if you are educated, if you have the means, it's even more so your responsibility, because you were gifted with intellectual, right? With some intellectual power. You were gifted with opportunities that maybe other people weren't. Regardless, if you're here, you send the elevator down. Yes or no? Right, Amanda?
That's right.
So we're doing the future. And I have this one question. It's a tricky $1 million question. What is one singular thing that you would love to see happen in the next decade, I wanted to say 5 years, but things take a minute. In the next decade, when it comes to mass incarceration, one singular thing that you are, in the next decade, you would like to see happen?
One singular thing.
I know there's
for
3
me-
million.
I know there's a ton, but just going back to what I told you, those common needs are. I would like for there to be, first of all, an end to mass incarceration, but I would really
That
like
would
to
be,
see
yes.
safe and affordable housing available to everyone coming home from jail or prison.
Yes.
Because that's at the foundation
The
for a
foundation.
successful reentry journey, right?
Yep.
Once you have a place to lay your head where you don't have to worry, then you can focus on those other issues. You
Good
can focus
job.
on employment, you can focus on education, you can focus on rebuilding your relationships, all of the above. So that's what I'd like to see.
Look, after 9/11, I was homeless. You know, I had to figure out how to maneuver myself in Manhattan. So it's New York State. It's not, you know, New York,
Long
New
Island,
York, Long
right.
Island. It's not an easy, you know. Everything is expensive. You literally, you know, come out of the house and you know the air you breathe costs money. So I totally agree with you. The housing is you know, have a place that you can let, you know, right, and have the support that you offer, because you need support. You need emotional support. You need somebody to tell you every day, yes, you can do it. Let's go to the next step. Yes, you can do it. Let's go to the next step, right? Yes, you can do it. Let's go to the next step. Come on, let's do it. Let's go. And then, you know, and then you grow. And then all of a sudden you see women that, you know, tell you stories of what happened 10 years ago in their lives. And you're like, no, get out of here. Wow. And you see the growth and it's incredible. So how,
And New Hour wants to be a part of that in providing housing for women. So I'm sure you may know already, Serena may have told you, but we do have a house that's in the works that we're hoping to open within the next year or so. We're gonna start off small, maybe about 5 women, and the goal is to take it from there. Who knows, at some point, maybe we'll have an entire block of houses for women in reentry and just provide them with that support that's so needed.
you know that words are important. You worded it here today and you have the passion behind it. It's gonna happen. You know, I went to it's called a safe house in Manhattan to do a workshop a couple years ago, and it's beautiful. It really is, you know, a safe place for women that have nowhere to go. They're really just, you know, discarded. The pain that I saw in these women, like, I didn't want to leave. I brought my son with me. You know what my son said to me? My 13-year-old, he was 10, 11 at the time. They had all the chairs with these computers, and I'm sharing this with you just to make you understand like how children are not so detached as we want to think. And, you know, he sat there, and I want my children to be exposed to reality. They have to. Otherwise, they'll never be able to take care of reality. They live in reality. And so while we were doing the workshop, you know, with my friend Shavana Vaughn, my son was sitting down, they had computers, and I thought he was playing video games. On the way back, driving home, he said to me, Mom, he said, you know that young lady that was crying? And she was saying how hard it was in jail. He goes, it felt really bad, Mom. So he wasn't playing video games. He heard everything. And I'm glad he did. Because can I tell you something? He's a very compassionate young boy. And unless they have this type of experiences, how else will they know that there are people that suffer? Some youth on Long Island don't even know that homeless people exist, because they go from car to school to bus to, you know, to soccer to, you know, they don't get to really experience what, right, reality is. So I wanted to share this with you. And yes, the end of mass incarceration, wouldn't that be something? You never know, dreams do come true. But I do believe that the house, it's going to be a success. It's going to be a block. It's going to be a town.
Yes.
And maybe it's
Yes,
going to
that's
be
very
an
cool.
industry that comes out of a bad system, that it's, you know, there's so many talented people that sit in jail. You agree?
Yes, absolutely. If you were just some of the artwork that I've seen is mind-blowing.
But
And that's just
poetry.
scratching the surface. Poetry, everything. Super intelligent people sitting behind bars.
I've seen it a million times over, and many times it's people that suffer with mental illness issues, with conditions they can't control, and addiction and all that. I hear you. Another thing that I wanted to say to you that I forgot. Your thoughts on solitary confinement.
So our
Like,
goals-
what are you guys? Because I know you guys are involved. I follow everything. I know you guys are.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the United Nations deemed anything over 15 days to be considered torture when it comes to solitary confinement. So we'll start there. And as I mentioned before, halt solitary was passed, which was a huge win, making it illegal to use the overuse of solitary confinement. And we supported that movement 100%. Pre-COVID, we were out in Albany. We were rallying
I saw you.
for halt. Yes, you had folks, we were just talking about this recently, you had folks who were on a hunger strike, who didn't eat for days so that solitary confinement could come to an end. And for us, we are totally opposed to solitary confinement. We see the harm that it causes in the women. Even when it's said to be used for, safety measures. We've had women who are in a 23-hour lock because of so-called safety measures, and they're not well. They tell us that they feel themselves deteriorating, that they don't want to be there, that they'd rather be in general population. So there's just no place for it.
We're
Period.
human beings. We need connection.
That's right.
We need humanity. I feel lonely. I cry at night, and I'm not incarcerated. I can't even imagine sitting in a freaking room, having maybe my kids being taken, having deemed that I'm not a good person, having mental illness from childhood, maybe addiction that comes from it, and nobody giving me a chance, right, to recuperate and to figure all of it out and lend a hand.
And not to mention having the 1 hour out of the cell where you have to decide, am I going to use this time to take a shower or to try and call my loved ones, which is what women have told us. And unfortunately, COVID brought on the overuse of solitary because the jails and the prisons were using it as a way to quarantine the individuals that are incarcerated. And we've heard firsthand accounts of women saying that they barely got a half hour out of their cells during that time.
I mean, like the pandemic wasn't hard enough outside.
Right.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being in there not knowing really what's going on in the rest of the world, but filling it in a box? And having to come out, maybe some of them are coming out right now to this post-pandemic world, which is a disaster regardless. It's a big subject, It is a big subject, but there's so many people that are working hard. You gave me just see, this whole solitary, unfortunately Liddy tries to do a million things all at once, that I'm involved because that's how ADHD is. But I'm always tuned in. Emotionally, I'm always tuned in when it comes to this, always tuned in. I wish I could be part of everything and anything on earth. I overextend myself already because I'm just so eager. I really am. It makes me, I'm happy to change the world, man. I like it. I like it when I hear things like this. Boom, you got it done. See, right? It's the biggest, isn't it better than any shopping spree you could ever go on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
The feeling of knowing that you've helped a woman who's experienced so much trauma is by far one of the most rewarding feelings, for sure.
All right, they tell me we gotta go on a break. We're gonna take another break. We're coming back. We got more stuff with Amanda Acevedo and Liddy. Taking a break. Millennium TV 24. Tune in. We're taking a break. Ciao.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
And we're back on the Liddy Show with Liddy Committee. Boy, oh boy, you know, I always want to bring important issues forth. And sometimes I know I'm silly and I jump around, but you know, inside I'm quite serious, you know, about important issues. It's just that I don't want, just like when I was, diagnosed with cancer, I want to bring light to the world that there is an after life, if you may. That there is a way out of things, that you can take a loss and make it a win, that it's never over until it's over. That's why I bring important issues forward with a more enthusiastic and lighthearted way to make it more approachable, possibly, to everyone. To open your heart, your mind, to be inspired, to be curious and say, oh my God, why, I never knew that. Let me go check this out. Because that's how I started with everything. That's how I go on YouTube, right, Amanda? I go and you got to see, I go check on this and check on that. Matter of fact, I want to share really quickly. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed a couple years ago. It is a beast. It is an absolute beast to manage. May I say that it's way harder than cancer, way harder than anything, because I was born that way and I had to manage my entire life living with a marching band in my head, with basically a brain that is continuously on 24/7, projected in the future, 24/7 alerted, and thinking about 75,000 things while I'm talking to you. Now imagine accomplishing anything under those conditions. ADHD is debilitating for so many people. Some people are able, are gifted, possibly intellectually, to manage it, to research it, to figure out a way how to cope with it. Some people are not. And many incarcerated people are diagnosed with ADHD, with bipolar, with schizophrenia, with schizoaffective behavior, with bipolar, with all these different debilitating illnesses that they have never learned how to cope with, and with which they do not get, mental help with. And we'll touch on that some more, on another episode of the Liddy Show. But again, this is why we need to look at mass incarceration with empathy, because there's a lot more that we don't see. When people just see, throw them all out, criminals. When they speak about bail reform and they speak about a lot of issues, they speak from a place of not really having experience what it means on the field, with people, not having heard the stories. Trust me, if you get closer to certain subjects, you'll be shocked of how many things we miss, we don't know, we're not educated about. So make it a point to be educated about. And now I want to ask you one final question, right? The final question is this. You have a 9-month-old, right? It's a baby girl?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So how do you envision yourself being, kind of like, let's say, continuing your legacy through her? How are you going to be? Because I know already you are going to be that mother, and so how do you plan to, continue the legacy of being, active?
I think something you said resonates with me, and that's exposing your children to things, right? to certain experiences that aren't like their own so that they're aware. For me, raising a daughter who's eventually going to be a woman of color that's out in society, that's super important to me. Just making her aware of what obstacles she may face, and that the system isn't one that's designed for her to prosper, but that she can. And also just acknowledging where she comes from, right? Knowing that she has a grandfather who's formerly incarcerated, but she also has a mother who's working diligently to end that, hopefully, to end mass incarceration and to end the over-incarceration of mothers and women. So that's how I hope to pass my legacy down to my daughter.
And you already have, and absolutely, you know, they see us working, or they watch you, they absorb, even if it's a feeling, they feel, and they're like sponges, they hear everything. You know, you touched on a whole nother subject. I wasn't even going to get into the rate of Black and Latino incarcerations. We know already, that's a whole nother 25 hours straight of the Liddy show that I have a lot to say, because again, I'm passionate about it, and you know, I read and I research just the rate of Black and Latinos that in certain communities are targeted and mass incarcerated, and they grow up in the system and never get out. And I've met, sadly, so many people that are adults that have grown up in jail their entire adult life, you know, and for nonsense. It's just like a revolving door of not being addressed, you know, and prevented as children. Not only, we're not even going to discuss the school to prison pipeline, where we really just pick and choose these young kids that we deem unmanageable, and I'm going to let you speak on it, right? And then throw them right in the system. Go ahead. Come on, give me some school to prison pipeline.
What comes to mind immediately is just generational trauma, right? And for me personally, it's been a matter of healing generations of fatherlessness, right? So my dad didn't have his dad, which led to him seeking mentorship in not the best mentors, older men, older boys. I didn't have my dad. And I think it's important to also point out that once a parent is released, there's still so much more work to be done in reestablishing a relationship with not only their children, but the rest of their family members. So I think that not addressing that generational trauma has a lot to do with that revolving door of folks coming in and out of prison over and over. And you know, it takes a lot of work. My father came home when I was 11. We didn't reestablish a good relationship until I was in my 20s. And a lot of that was because he said, I don't know what it is to be a dad. He'd never been a dad. He didn't have a dad. So I think that's super important to address as well, while we're addressing the obvious of, you know, employment, housing. Just how can we support formerly incarcerated people in reestablishing healthy relationships with their loved ones?
Yeah, and the expectations too of society. Don't you feel like sometimes I feel like, you know, the expectation, that's why sometimes you see a lot of people, you know, that are like, you know, at the end of addiction, because they just can't handle the expectations the society put upon some people that just did not get the same opportunities.
That's right.
They did not get the same opportunities. Please take a nice trip to some of the boroughs projects with Liddy. I would love to take you with me, and I realize that it's not what do you think it is. And you know, the challenges that some people have living in certain conditions, and they're already, you know, it's literally it's groomed to be a certain way. It's all one big, you know, one big system. I guess we got another break. I don't know. We got a lot of breaks today, or I guess maybe I'm not. I think we're about to close. But listen, Liddy shows you as it is. Okay, don't expect perfection from me. Don't expect perfection from anybody. Compassion, the same compassion that I'm asking from myself today, because I'm always a mess and I share the real me with you. extend that to other people out there. People are not perfect. They're struggling. They're hurting. I'm going to close with something important. Justice for All by Got Check Records, created by Kim Seabrook, Bronx artist and friend of mine that actually helped me get on the show. Kim Seabrook, Justice for All, go get it. Unbelievable. The best, one of the best projects that I've, was lucky to be included. Incredible. And for that, guess what? Since today was mass incarceration, Justice for All is about mass incarceration. Kim Seabrook, you're not here, but I got you an amazing proclamation from Kimberly Jean-Pierre, Assemblywoman Kimberly Jean-Pierre, with appreciation because we work with mass incarceration with Eleanora Legacy Act. We're trying to fight for biannual mammograms and education in facilities, in correctional facilities. Amanda, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for everything. I hope you come back. You have given me, so much to think about. You gave me good news. You gave me some punchlines that I needed. You gave me some knowledge. Yes, you kicked some knowledge, baby. You gave me some good stuff today. I'm telling you, I need that. I like that. This is why I love to, be able. I love you, New Hour. I'm going to see you all tomorrow, girls. I'm coming. I'm coming to annoy you all. I love you. All right. I love you more. So we're going to close again. Please, for the love of God, if you are perfect out there, I want to meet you because I'm not. And sure enough, I can tell you anybody that I know that is perfect. Maybe you are, and that's great for you. But some of us are not. Extend yourself.